Bam! All right.
Cheers.
Delicious. Well, everybody, it is Red Wine Talks. I'm here with my two, probably closest friends from high school. Not in Houston. We are in Houston right now, but they both moved to Houston.
10 years ago.
Some people say Houston if that's easier for
Oh,
you.
really?
Mm-hmm.
Houston?
Houston.
What do you guys say?
Houston.
Great. I
I'm
messed
from
that up.
Indiana.
But we're all from Indiana. So this is Molly and Mariah. We all went to high school together, New Haven High School.
We went to even middle school together, and we've known each other since diapers.
Diapers.
Yeah.
Truly, 18 years.
Lifelong
We have
friends.
known each other, basically.
Yep.
And then we all moved away. We all left.
We got away
We all
from
left.
the small town for sure.
But I think what's the most interesting part, we'll start here. It's just all of my friends, I feel like we're very similar in the aspect, we all moved to a city where we don't need a car, we're very cosmopolitan and European almost in that way. But you guys are people that I still get along with really well, but you guys chose a different lifestyle. You still live in a big city, it's Houston.
I mean, definitely cars are used here, so.
Yeah, we have the worst traffic. I think we're the #1 city in America with the worst traffic is Houston, next to LA.
Fun.
6 lanes on each side.
Yeah, it's horrid.
Fun stuff.
And it
It's
still
horrid.
gets packed.
It's horrid.
So.
But, okay, what was it that made you guys want to, was it that you wanted to leave Fort Wayne? Or was it that you...
For me personally, I didn't want the traditional lifestyle where I got married at 22 and wasn't working. I just was at home. A stay-at-home mom was not my goal. I wanted a career. And then I also wanted just a new life, new friends, just, yeah.
How old were you when you left?
19.
Oh, you came here at 19?
Mm-hmm. I
Oh,
came here, was
sweet.
here for 8 months and then moved back to Indiana. Was there for a year to date some dude.
Oh, nice.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
But that's how you don't just wait.
Don't move for the dudes, okay?
We got a whole topic on dudes.
But if I didn't move for the dude, then I wouldn't be here.
we wouldn't be in this house right now.
Exactly.
Literally.
True.
Literally.
Okay.
Cheers for the dude.
Cheers to that
Thanks. He's at work right now. We had so much fun in high school. I think we're all just I think a lot of people look at their high school and they're just they had a bad experience.
Are you about to have a bad experience?
No, I just choked. Anyway.
Here we go.
No, a lot of people look at their high school and they had a really bad experience or awkward experience. I look back at high school and I'm yo, I had so much fun.
I had all of them.
Okay, I guess you did. Okay, oh yeah.
Speak for yourself, Damon.
I'm sorry, yeah, true.
I definitely loved high school.
I mean, I loved high school. And I would say some of my most favorite memories are with y'all.
Yeah, I mean, I was 2 years ahead of you, school-wise, but I mean, I still hung out with everyone underneath my class because my class
I didn't hang out with anybody in my class hardly.
Me?
You?
You.
But I said hardly me. You.
So we all did show choir, which for those who that's only a thing in the Midwest. You know?
Yeah.
That's not a big thing.
No, it's totally not a thing here, which is disappointing. But
Are you proud of it, or are you ashamed?
I'm glad I
of
did it.
Me too.
Oh, I
I'm
love
glad
it.
I did it.
But it's something I think some people make fun of.
Oh, for sure. I wasn't ecstatic about it when I was in it per se.
I mean, when we got into high school, I think that's when it kind of dropped off as far as popularity became. But in middle school, for sure, that was what the cool kids were doing. So
Absolutely.
if you were in choir, you were cool.
You were, though.
We were the freaking cool kids.
That's so true, though.
Wait, I want to talk about social media again, because
Oh, yeah.
I graduated 2010, 2008,
208.
2008,
2008.
2080.
208.
She's only 2 years old.
08 is great.
But yeah, social media was not a huge thing. So of course there was Facebook and MySpace, but
MySpace.
most of our time, so true with the digital cameras.
But that's when MySpace was big, because we uploaded our digital
and
photos.
AIM.
and a top 8 on MySpace, yeah.
Yep.
You had to pick your one song that played
On
you
your
visited the
profile
page.
picture. Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if it's that we grew up in that time period or if it was that we grew up in New Haven, Indiana. There was nothing to do, like, ever.
Literally nothing to do.
There's nothing to do. So we would go to Walmart. We didn't need to buy anything. We didn't have money. We would just go.
We just went and rode the bikes and
just rode the bikes.
no,
we would.
we'd go to Dairy Queen.
Wow.
And remember, like,
No, it got better, right?
remember during high school, like, if there was an early release, people would go to Pizza Hut and
We
then
would.
go to somebody's house. So
That
they
was
would
in
make out.
middle
Yes.
school for sure because nobody had cars then.
Yep.
But Damon, I remember if we didn't have anything to do on a Friday in high school, like a Friday night, we would drive out to maybe Kohl's or Old Navy, the mall. You took me out to that new, like it's when eating super clean and vegetarian and all that was becoming.
House of Greens.
And it was House of Greens out on Lima Road.
Out on Lima Road.
Yes, it was things like that. And we would just listen to music and just, okay, it's about 10 o'clock, I guess, go home.
Guess
I mean,
go home.
generally, or
Guys will
we
drop you off at home.
spend time at somebody's house.
Yeah, or hang out in somebody's bedroom or the basement,
But it's just even, like, now that I live in Paris, I see that people who are 15, 16, 17, they're in the park, just like everybody else.
Hanging out, reading
Hanging
a book.
out. Well, no, but they're drinking because it's legal at, like, 16.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Wow.
where y'all? I was
I'll drink to that.
Were y'all? Okay, I know I was very straight edge. back
Y'all?
then. Did I say y'all? I'm moving to Houston. So I was so straight edge in high school. Like, I didn't drink. I didn't do anything. I didn't act out. I didn't even don't even remember kissing anybody besides who was our other friend.
But did you really kiss?
Maybe like, oh my god, I kissed. Like,
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
didn't like
no.
kiss.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't make
So
out.
anyway, straight edge though. Like, I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. I think I had like one wine cooler like once with you on a boat.
Of course
It was with me and my family. Of course.
What about you guys? Like, did you in high school, were you innocent? Or?
I was innocent throughout high school until
I was corrupt.
until my senior years. But no, I didn't drink until 18, 19.
I was so well behaved. I didn't do any of that.
Well, I started drinking in 8th grade.
Molly's like, all right, so let me tell you what I did.
I let y'all get it out of your system. And no, I remember I was in 8th grade and it was spring break my freshman year. And I took 6 shots of Ron Rico rum within 20 or 30 minutes. Because I was at this party for
6 shots?
this high school party for the
Damn.
first time. I know. And within 45 minutes, I was yakking in my sleep so bad. I mean, it was horrid. I could have gotten killed, really.
Anyway, so Molly was corrupt. We were not.
I smoked weed for the first time when I was a freshman.
Oh, like, and then I took, and then I did this and this. All right.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so I want to talk about growing older. I'm turning 30 in October. You're turning 30 next month.
Just a couple weeks.
You turned
Just turned
31.
Just turned 31, yeah.
But I liked what you said just an hour ago. You were like, I wanted to turn 30.
No, I was super
happy.
ecstatic to turn 30 just because I feel like my 20s were such growing years for me, and they were hard. I mean, I left my parents' house at 19 because I got caught having sex. I don't know if y'all even knew that.
They were
My
together?
dad caught me. Yeah, my dad caught me.
Her
having sex.
dad walked in on her. having
No,
Yes,
that's
it was the
traumatizing.
Yes.
So it was like in between that time where I was like,
How'd your dad get through that?
I don't know. Honestly, sometimes I look at him, I'm like, don't look at me like that. Like, I know what you saw. Like, I'm sorry. Like deep down, I'm like, I wish you wouldn't have seen that. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I don't know if I would have chosen to move so quickly if I wouldn't have gone through something like that.
Shit, I was just getting out of bullshit too, and I'm like, I gotta get out of here, otherwise I don't know what's gonna happen to me. My life, I mean, statistically I should have like 4 kids from 3 different dudes shooting up heroin and never getting my college degree, based on the secrets and different things like going over state lines and clinics and just all the shit that happened with my past. It's amazing that I'm still me, that I still am the personality that, but I've...
I mean, but that's your soul. I don't feel like when...
And maybe that's what I'm starting to learn. I've never been the person that looks at myself in the mirror and talks good about myself. You know, I've never been that person that's like, you're such a good person, you make people happy. It's usually like, man, I really feel like I could do better. I'm never like super positive about myself, and I think
that come from?
I think, you know, the more I explore why I am struggling in certain areas today is the lack of parenting that existed in my life, you know? And so I think having that lack of parenting that also lacked affection and lacked a safe environment to tell them what was concerning me at school, or, you know, I was hyperventilating in the passing periods in 8th grade. Why didn't the school ever call my parents and just be like, hey, she's not doing well? And they never did that stuff.
Or, sorry, this is like it's a funny example, but we were just
talking about it, yes. Tell me.
Molly. Because I was trying to think of what we could talk about in this video. There's so many topics, and I was like, the one thing I really remember, of course, it was Spanish class. I love languages. And we had
so not, like, if my parents heard you say this right now, they'd be like,
Molly!
Spanish class?
But it was Spanish class.
Cafe Bowman, do you remember that?
Yes. How do you...
I loved her.
Oh, because she fucking loved you.
Yeah.
She wanted to date you. She wanted to take you home, tie you up, and eat you for dinner. She loved you.
Because I loved Spanish.
And you went to fucking Barcelona, and she was like, oh, we know how to do the host family thing.
I did the whole thing.
That's what it was.
No, but in her class, we had to write sample sentences, and everyone was
I
like...
didn't know. I was distracted in school, obviously.
But everyone was like, vivo en una buena familia. And Molly's sentence was, vivo en una familia disfuncional. Like, you're like, how do you say dysfunctional? I was like, Molly. And we should have laughed. But I really said that.
But again, prime example, why did my teacher not send an email to my mom? Hey, the kids were able to come up with any sentence they wanted to say today in class, and your daughter said that your family is really dysfunctional.
I feel like we went through school differently, though. I mean, like, now I feel like everyone's so much more...
You don't have privacy these days. Mm-hmm. Everybody's in your business.
Because of social media.
And that's what it is. We weren't used to social media, I guess, as much. I don't know. I just think a lot of people are sue happy, and a lot of people are let's point the finger and blame. I think that's a lot of going on today, at least in America, it feels like. I feel like we're surrounded by negativity due to social media in a lot of ways in America. I don't know what it's like if you have a feed living in Europe. But,
well, actually, people in Europe see the States and they look at
Are we a laughing stock? I mean,
to
basically,
some extent, yeah. I mean, of course, there's still, like, a lot of the great things come from the States. Like, not all hope is lost.
Okay, because living here, we're feeling that.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like because the amount of freedom that, you know, we have as Americans, I guess, it just stems a whole different type of lifestyle all across the board, I guess. And so we have a lot of outlets to be laughed at.
Well, here's something, though, that I think is interesting. Like, when I've traveled the world, the main thing that people always talk about from the States, and I used to think this too, is like, the United States, we're so free, we have freedom, we fought for this. And then you go to France and you're like, oh, I can drink in the park and not have a police officer bother me.
Yeah.
I can drink in the beach. Or, like, again, that's just alcohol. But, like, there's so many...
I mean, but that's a good example of...
It's a good example of, you're not actually free here.
But take a look at your lockdown and our lockdown. It's
good intentions.
See, exactly. It's just and that's, I guess, you know, what America, in my eyes, is that places like France, the government decides for you, and I feel like in America, it's always been let me decide for me, based within law. That's
and
so I think that's the difference. You know, we are that country that thrives and is based on immigrants and people wanting to come to America and live the American dream. But when you think about all those people coming all across the world, they're coming from all different cultures and ways of life and religions and norms and cultural, you know, differences. So when you come here and we're all in the same pot, if you start to limit those like freedoms based on certain cultures or whatnot, I don't think that's America anymore. I feel like America is let's decide for ourselves without the government telling us this, and that. I don't want to take your whole video political, so I don't know how we got there.
She's like, cut. I'm like, all right, Molly. Each segment, I just cut it off. No, but actually, I like that example. I think that's a perfect example about a lot of things in France. The government does decide, and a lot of times the government's right.
and
but this is one I think you're right here.
And how culturally diverse is France?
It's a different kind of culturally diverse because there you have people from North Africa, like immigrants from North Africa. So it's like Morocco, Algerian, Tunisian, people from Senegal, like French-speaking Africa. It's like a different immigration pattern. Whereas here, it's mainly Mexican.
And that's why I think that when people say, well, this works here, I'm like, because it's there. You know, I don't think there's a one-size-fits-all in the world.
Oh, yeah,
I really don't think there's a one-size-fits-all. Because, like, in places like Finland, they're, like, the best education...
Best everything, happiest.
But how big is it? How many people are there? Are they all in the same religion? Are they all kind of the same people and race? So, you know what I mean? So that works for them because there's one culture of people. But what we love about America is we all can immigrate here and we can be free here and bring our culture here freely. But once you start to limit that, then you're changing why everybody came here to begin with.
Wait, limit what though?
Your ability to express your individuality and your, you know, I feel like if you have a certain view these days, they're starting to limit how that is expressing or getting out there. It's starting to feel like people are deciding to tell you how to feel or think in ways. And that could be the bad side of social media if we circle back around to social media. Because social media has great positives, but it also has brainwashing effect, I think.
You're not good enough for what you're doing in life is not, you know...
It's created
Instagram
that comparison,
basically.
you know? Like, I felt that when we were in middle school and high school, suicide wasn't huge in that age group. But now I feel like 10% of the age of 10 to 14-year-olds are committing suicide. And I think that's solely social media
and pressure of being someone.
Because in social media, you can create frames that aren't real. You can create anything you want in a frame. And I think that that's taking away from reality. And so now we're all getting all effed up because we're seeing things that aren't even there. They're not real. And that's why we're going crazy because it's not fucking real. Like, it's not real.
Just creating lives that everyone else wants to have. But I think growing up in the 20s for us is different now for anyone that's, you know, growing up in their 20s because...
I agree.
We didn't have as many pressures, honestly, as well. I mean, for what they are dealing with now. For me, in my mind at least, I feel like I was a little bit more like a kid in my 20s now.
And you know, if I elaborate a little more on personal level of why I may feel so, I want to make my own decisions, is because of what I went through. I mean, I was my parents' marriage counselor since I could talk, basically. And then, so I had to, like, live my life around them. And then I got involved into that situation when I was in high school to where I was literally under the thumb of somebody else's rule and I couldn't talk about it to anybody.
Yeah.
And then that happened until almost 22 years old. And then I up and move in with a guy that ended up, you know, being abusive. And then I finally moved out at 26, 27 years old on my own for the first time. That was only 2.5 years ago. So it's really fresh for me to finally be able to be like, experience, I can do whatever I want and it's me because I'm with somebody that allows me to be me. But, you know, I think that's why I'm a little disgruntled or like have these little outbursts of I'm upset, you know, and I think maybe that makes sense that Molly's never been able to live for Molly until pretty recently. I say that in like the last 2-3 years.
For sure.
And
how did you like learn all this? Like what made you like come to all these, like for me, for example, well that, yeah, you mentioned something
therapy,
about that.
Talking, like last time I talked to my therapist, I said, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm doing fine. I don't really have anything to talk about. And you know what? I talked for a fucking hour. Imagine that, right? But no, because then you start to reflect on, you just think out loud. You're allowed to think out loud to somebody that is a professional that can give back to you. And they see you in a light with no bias, no intention, so they're really giving you genuine...
Well, and you went through many years where you had everything closed off. I mean, even around Damon and I, you were so closed off about
I was basically trained to never talk about a major thing happening in my life for years. It wasn't just a couple weeks or a couple months. It was 4 to 6 years before I could talk about it.
Yeah.
And that involved so much. And so I am a, recovering victim of, my therapist tells me, sexual abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And it all factors into if my parents weren't really there. They self-medicated. My dad worked on the road. It makes sense. I can't be angry at my parents forever, but I've really been going through a phase where I'm in a position now where I'm raising a little girl and I wouldn't do almost anything that they did. And so I just feel like if they would have maybe been a little bit more of a parent, I wouldn't be going through all these anxieties and depressions.
This is what I wanted to say about turning 30 though, because we're always telling ourselves stories about the past of like, this didn't work out for me, this really didn't go my way, and now it's like 30, okay, I can open a new book.
Yes, it's like, that's
you can
what
close
I said,
that
it's a
one.
brand new chapter when
It's
you
a
turn,
chapter.
like, your 20s is closing. And now you feel like when you reach
Part
the age
2.
30, you get to create a new separate life from where you were in your 20s.
And I'm excited.
And that's what I was excited for.
I'm
too.
excited. I have really been down here, like, having to live paycheck to paycheck and put my groceries on my credit card. You know, so I've, like, been to that point of struggle. I literally at one point had to go rent a hotel room because my house was so cold. It was like 33 degrees in it, and I couldn't shower there. It was too cold to shower there. So, and then I went through what I did in high school, and then I went through what I did with and then I was single, and that guy I was seeing or whatever, as good as I felt like it was for me, he wasn't good for me either. But then...
Yeah, I went through a bad relationship also. I was dating an alcoholic for 3.5 years, and I ended up paying the bills for both of us for 1.5 years. Don't do that.
Yeah.
And why you liked to hit other parts of his personality? That's why you stayed?
Yeah, I mean, before, when we first got together, he was fine. Like, I think he was 8 years older than I was, or maybe 7. But still, I think he was unhappy with where he was in life, and so he started drinking. The more successful I became, the more he was, like, unhappy with, where he was, so he became drunk. He would drink every single day, like a fifth a day, and then... he lost his job, and then...
And he was angry about something. He was angry with himself, and then he was probably taking it out on you, and that's why it didn't work out. And that's kind of where I've gotten is I got to an angry stage where you can't be angry forever, and it's sad when you see or hear yourself, or once you calm down and like write how you're feeling or what just happened, you're like, wow, how did that just happen? And so it really motivates, if you care about yourself really, and it motivated me to just get the help I needed and really focus on it. I'm in a fortunate situation where I don't have to clock in every day, and I'm in a position where I can focus on me, and I've never been able to do that, and I think even since elementary school.
Right.
So it's just... I'm about to turn 30, and it just feels so refreshing because all this happened my whole life
all
until like now.
Yeah,
and like the last 6 months, I've been really kicking ass on working on myself.
So you have this new
and
chapter.
so now that I'm about to turn 30, I have never been so excited for a birthday. And it's my 30th birthday, right? Most people dread it, or I'm not a young, lad anymore, but I almost feel more womanly. I feel more confident. Like I'm a woman, not just some gal, floating around in Texas.
I don't know where this comes from to like be ashamed of your age. Like I've never, every age I get older, I'm just like, wait, why would anyone not want to turn this age?
Yeah.
This is great. This is great.
I've noticed that too, and I don't know what that is. Did you feel like when we were in school, if we were in 6th grade, the 8th graders seemed so much cooler and just like so much older, and like I was like nervous to be around them, or like were you nervous when you were a freshman and you had B lunch with a senior and like you had to go take your tray up? I mean, but when I see kids now in school, since I'm a coach, and I see the way the 6th graders act around the 8th graders, I was like, I would never be able to act like that. Like,
wait, how are they acting?
Act like they're all just
cool
in the same bin, like.
Oh yeah, no, I was gonna say I feel like I would always look at them and be like, they're so cool, and those are the
like they were like up here, and I was like, I ain't ever gonna get there until I'm in 8th grade now. But then when I got to 8th grade, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But the 20s for you was way different because you were...
Yeah, your 20s are different than our 20s.
That's why I'm like, okay, This is how I always like gauge how my life is going. When I was on the plane over here to Texas, of course, every planer you take, you hit turbulence. And every turbulence, you're like, oh, this is my, like, it's my plane that's going to go down. Every single time. This is it. And every time that happens, because it happens every flight, I'm like, wait, you had the best life you could ever have. You've lived where you've wanted to live. You have friends all over the world. Like, you have been so lucky in that sense. Of course, you worked really
and
hard.
You know what
but
being content.
Yeah.
You're happy and content.
Very much with wherever.
And that's where everybody strives to be in life. If I died today, can I be happy with what I've done with my life?
Could you?
I'm getting very close.
You're like, I'm close. I could die soon.
No, that's the thing. Like, I had the realization, but I just have a lot of work to do. So it's taking me a little longer to get there.
What
but
about you?
I see that.
I feel like no. I feel like I haven't experienced everything I want to. Like, I'm not married. I haven't found somebody that's like extremely, like a soulmate level, or there's like, that's what I'm excited for in my 30s or maybe even my 40s. Who knows? I mean, I feel like everyone's love story is different and different timings. But like, that's one thing that before I leave this earth, I really would love to fall in love with someone, like on a deep level.
Going back to social media, like, I always see you, Mariah, as somebody who's always in a good mood. Like, I don't even know if I've ever seen her in a, I mean, maybe you guys have. You lived.
I have.
Okay, well, I have only seen you in good moods. Every time people are around you, you're the one that's laughing. You're so vivacious and you're so much fun.
For me, the reason why I put myself out there, I think, is because, I mean, that's the way that I see myself and I want to be seen. And the only time I really allow to be vulnerable is people that I'm extremely close with. And I've actually been working on that, like actually talking about different things, because, I have started my own little YouTube channel and whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I'm trying to become more vulnerable.
I love how everyone who talks about anything they're doing is just kind of like blah, 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 like, even though you're working so hard on it.
Yeah, I mean, well, because, like, I'm happy with it, but, it's really just for myself. So, blah, blah, blah. No, but I just, I'm trying to become more vulnerable when it comes to things that are harder that I've been through or going through. But it's so taboo for us because I feel like we had to keep those things hidden when we were younger. Honestly, I mean, mental health was not a thing for us growing up, even in our 20s. I mean, it's just now becoming exploited, and I feel like that's why.
I agree with that. I do.
That's probably why I'm always happy, because that's how I want people to view me, and that's how I always see myself.
When you're happy,
it makes
other people happy.
You make people feel so comfortable. Like, I've always thought that you, of all people, like, anyone, you could walk into a room of you've never met anybody here, and like, you would somehow become the life of the party. Like, that's how I've always seen her.
That's true though. It's
so fun.
This is that moment where I said, what happens if I have to go to the bathroom?
I have to go soon too.
What happens if I have to go to the bathroom?
She looks at the camera. I have to pee.
Can you just raise your Damon? Can I go to the? Yes, you can go pee. Okay, you have such a big personality. Again, I love it. And so when you walk into anywhere, like, you take up space, and it's great.
I mean, I guess for me, like, the feeling of being uncomfortable when you don't know anyone. You might as well just be who you are. At least that's how I try and be. And see if there's somebody else I can make friends with. Like, I'm always open to making friends. I'm open to being talked about also. Like, I mean, the only way that I've ever grown in my life is if I'm actually true to myself and be funny, and that's how I feel comfortable. I don't really care if it makes other people uncomfortable, I guess. So
it's almost like they're going to see the side of me eventually if they're the ones that I'm going to align with. So why not just get all of it out of the way now?
And why pretend to be somebody that you're not? I mean, it makes me uncomfortable to be fake.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, why try and be someone when you're going to be exposed down the road anyway?
Yeah. What about with dating? Have you ever, like, I don't know, I feel like dating would be fun.
Dating for me, like, I've definitely come across some characters, and I mean, it's
well, have you ever had any weird date stories about how they react with you?
Yeah,
you have a big personality.
Some people, you know, they'll see my picture and they'll be like, "Man, I thought you were gonna be a lot more soft spoken or something." I'm like, "Ha ha! Well, guess what? Got you." That's why I try and Snapchat or something prior to a date, because, you know, I am extremely outgoing and open-minded to a lot of things, and I mean,
I am too.
It's hard for me to be with anyone that's like not. I mean, I like shy guys, I guess.
Me too.
But I definitely talk a lot on my dates if they're being shy. Like, you ever been on a really awkward date and they don't know what to say?
I love it.
Or you're like, are you actually attracted to me or do you need to go?
Like I love it though. Anytime a date's going bad though, I always feel like we don't have to be romantic. We can still be friends.
Exactly.
So we can still have a good conversation.
I feel like people are so stuck on, you know, they want this end-all goal when they go on dates or something. But, like, no, just be yourself. You never know. You can have a lifelong friend come out of a date. How's dating been for you? Because we didn't think you were going to date anyone.
You know what? Sometimes I say this on my channel, like when I was in high school. Okay, sometimes when, you're gay, people think like you were hiding something all these years.
But we didn't know you were gay.
He didn't either.
And
okay.
No, but that's exactly what I want.
Okay.
I'm like, yes,
But Damon didn't either.
I didn't even know either.
Seriously didn't know.
I seriously
we were just
wasn't
best friends, and
no,
that
which
was
is
it.
fine. No, I'm just saying, like, because when Molly had told me, you know, I was like, oh, well, I mean, it makes sense, but we just thought that you weren't sexually interested in either.
And I don't think I was.
He literally didn't know it until the night he ever lost his virginity to a man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Did you ever have you ever had sex with a woman?
No.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So that's
Like, whoa.
well, no. Some gay men have had sexual intercourse with a woman, and they were like, "Oh fuck, I'm gay," because this ain't it for me.
No. That's exactly it though. But in high school, I was always like, I was totally asexual. I didn't see nobody attracted me.
And
Nobody
I
was
have always felt that way about you.
Yeah.
And even when you told me you were gay, I was like, I still think he's asexual, but you're not. You're not.
No, now I'm definitely not, because I've been in Paris and I realized like, oh, okay, these are the guys that I'm attracted to.
Mm-hmm.
Even here in Houston or when I was in Dallas, like I was looking.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking hard and didn't find much. So, no, I think it might just be like maybe I have an aversion, like I don't see, maybe it's because we're from the same place that just people from the States just don't
do it for you.
Just, I don't know, and I don't want to think that way because this is a
It's
huge
not
country.
exotic enough for you.
Yeah, I think I need somebody who like doesn't speak English.
Right,
different
exactly,
language.
exactly.
I don't know.
That's part of you is travel and language. I mean, you've taught yourself every foreign language you know, basically.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, y'all knew me when I only spoke English.
Exactly.
Or like Spanglish. Because you
Spanglish.
were speaking Spanish whenever you were in Spanish classes.
Yeah,
True.
It
you.
was something that you did.
He
so.
was-
We were in Spanish festival.
I always sat next to him or behind him.
You were Raquel and I was Diego.
Yeah, you were
Oh my
Diego. That's
God.
right. I was Raquel.
All right, guys,
But
hold on.
I'd always tell him to like move his shoulder over to the
So
side
that
so I could cheat.
She can cheat off me.
Damn it! I don't know it.
Okay, I don't know if this is something just from Indiana, but I feel like we grow up in Indiana being told to like kind of stand up for yourself if something goes wrong. And I feel like in high school, or again, we've only lived, we spent 18 years together basically, growing up in school. I feel like we would all, more of you guys than me, I feel like I'm more this person now. If a teacher said something to you,
Oh fuck that. There's never been a time where I've regretted speaking up for what's right.
yeah,
There's never a time that, no matter how dark or down it may bring you, that just is
It's a sense of
like the sun
empowerment.
always comes back up, right? You know.
sense of empowerment, totally.
It's definitely a sense of empowerment when you feel like you can actually use your voice and say whatever you yourself personally are feeling in that moment.
Right.
No matter what subject
Yeah.
it would be.
I always just felt like if they can say something, like why couldn't I say
Exactly.
something? Like why can't we both have our opinions?
And then when
right
they try
here?
to make you look like the asshole, it's like, okay, let's replay this. You were the one who came at me with this. I wasn't even I was minding my business, you know. And I see what you're saying with that, but
Yeah, I mean, even when it comes to my friends, like, you know, sometimes my friends will keep things from me or say things from me or say things to me because they know that I'm going to give my honest opinion. And not so much that it's like a bad thing, but
those are the best friends
Those
to
are-
have.
I feel like people that only want friends in their life that say, you know, what they want to hear, you're not going to grow as a person. So why not stay true to who you are, speak up about whatever you feel is correct or, you know, in the best interest of your friend. And if they don't like you for that, then that's an issue deep-rooted in themselves.
Yeah.
Period. I wrote down a quote that you guys just said. Corporate jobs are a disaster.
Oh.
Mariah, go.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when you work for a corporation, you're giving yourself.
You're just a hashtag.
Yeah, you're a number. You're giving yourself. You're giving, you know, however much of a percentage of your daily, every day to that company to make somebody else more money, and not so much. I mean, yeah, you at the end of the day, you're making a check. You know, you're providing for yourself, but you're giving so much of yourself and everything.
And it's not recognized.
It's not recognized at all. I mean, you're basically building somebody else's dream,
right?
For pennies of what.
And you have to clock in, and it's 7:52, and you're 15 minutes out, and you have to clock in at 8, and you're stressing and having a major anxiety attack. That is no way to live because I'm going to be 4 minutes late clocking in.
Right. I'll stay 4 minutes late.
I mean, are you serious?
The amount of work that you put in there, like I feel like that should be more of the person or employee that you are viewed as instead of the time that you clock in or clock out.
Exactly.
Or, you know, it's just, I just feel like it's a stressful environment when you work for a company. It makes for an uncomfortable
Well, and when you
lifestyle.
that's your life day in and day out. You know, you get up, you get ready, you shower yourself, you get your family going, and then you go in and punch a clock, and then you're being creative and you're going the extra mile for the patient or whatever you do, and then you go home and you just busted ass, and there's not one person who even noticed. And when you're doing that day in and day out, it is exhausting. You lose self-worth. Mm-hmm. You're just a number. It's these big corporations, you know. If you're gonna have to punch a clock, work for a mom and pop or a local place.
Yeah, where you actually get recognized and you feel like you're providing something to your
own life. And once a month, y'all go get pizza and beer every Friday, or one Friday a month, like to where the people who are running the business. Like are so fucking grateful that you're still
and
here.
Invested in you and who you are and where you're going for them.
You don't get that in the rat race that Monday through Friday 8 to 5, and it's just not for me at all.
It's a stressful lifestyle, that's for sure.
And it feels like a lot of American jobs are that way. It's like a trap. You know,
because you have to provide for yourself. You have to, you know, unless you're in a.
And so now they get away with just treating people like shit here.
Even, I mean,
with zero appreciation.
People that are married, yeah, the male, you know, will be providing and stuff like that, but they're still having to do. I mean, here in Texas, there's a lot of oil and gas industry jobs, so they're working shift work, 12, 16-hour shifts,
exactly.
And then, you know, they're sad, stressed. Just to pay the. I mean, I feel like.
It's like that's not the way. That's not why we're here.
Exactly.
Like we spend our life doing that.
Mm-hmm. And
exactly.
We're so developed around everyone else's dream. Like somebody's come up with some type of job or some type of need in the United States or around the world where they have to have all these little minions doing the smaller portions of their entire life to create what they came up with, their ideal.
Period.
So what do you guys want to do? Or I remember you always wanted to do criminal justice.
I did, but I haven't found my voice there yet. I don't.
I mean, you don't have to. That was like 10 years ago. You don't have to do the same thing.
She went to college for it.
I graduated with a bachelor's in criminology. So if I went back to school, I could basically, instead of being a doctor or a scientist, I could be a PhD in criminal mind, and so I could be one of those that interrogates criminals on a murder case, and
oh my God.
You know, that's what I always wanted to do, was get inside the dysfunctional mind, right? I was always surrounded by all that kind of bullshit, so it was intriguing, but now after everything that happened to me, I feel like being around that every day would bring up a lot of trauma and just wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't be.
You'd be reliving your.
And I'd be working for the government. I'd be working for the city. You know, it's hourly or salaried, where I'm working complete overtime with no compensation. It's just
not like a sexy job. It's not like
Right.
exciting
No.
to you.
Sure, you can make anything sexy. Stop.
What about you, Mariah? Real estate.
Yeah, I mean,
in high school, what did you want to be?
I wanted to be a cosmetologist in high school.
That's right.
I did go to hair school. I still do hair on the side. I've even done Molly's hair a couple times.
She has.
But
She had a really cute haircut once.
I mean, I wanted something more. That's why I moved, because I was like, being a hairstylist, okay, cool, what, I'm supposed to find a man. No, I wanted an actual, like, career where I'd be someone. I want to be someone, like, to somebody, somebody important.
Do you know Ralph Smart?
No.
Oh my God.
Who is that?
She just got me hooked on him.
He's an inspirational, spiritual speaker.
Ralph Smart?
Cool,
Ralph Smart.
awesome speaker.
He just, like, gives you, like, almost a pep talk daily on the person that you want to be, or just, like, your inner self, or just, like, your surroundings.
I watch him, like, if I go out in the morning to smoke a joint, I'll turn on his YouTube channel and just listen to his newest video.
Okay.
We got a lot of content.
We're gonna, trust me, like, we'll cut a lot of it.
I know.
I know. She has a YouTube channel. All right. Thank you all for watching. Please subscribe to this channel if you want to see some more.
Hit the like button.
Comment below what you think about these topics of conversation. Their social media links will be in the description. Do you want me to put your social media?
If I still have one.
Yes, go ahead, and you can find it if you like ASMR.
She started a new ASMR channel. I already told her ASMR makes me feel uncomfortable, but I know that's a huge
It's a
thing.
It's a thing.
And people love it, so
Yeah,
keep
they
going.
do.
Yeah.
Wait,
She
can
makes
you-
me happy with her ASMR videos.
Can you
I
give
like
us some?
actually. Yeah. She does the tapping.
No, that's good. All right, thank you guys. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Like, excuse me, dog.
Excuse me.
Lucy, get the fuck out! How that is or why
I don't
that
know.
is.
Because I even had a dog, a Yorkie, and he was all over the place.
Oh man.
Bosco.
Bosco.
We don't even talk about Bosco. He was like a little, like,
Do you remember
rascal.
when
He really
he would get on my nerves so bad? Do you remember that one time I put him in the freezer for a second?
Molly! She put my dog in the freezer.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Do you remember when I put your dog?
God, I do. Now I think it's hilarious. He deserved it too.
That fucking shithead did!
He did.
He did, and it's not funny because it's just so funny. Listen, I put him in there, like just kind of set him in there, and then when I opened it up, he was in that corner.
This is the reason I'm vegan today. No, I'm kidding.
He was just
Molly,
I
and
opened the
you know
door
what?
and he's
Molly's
like-
probably laughing so hard.
I